What's up, gym bros? Today we're talking about one of the most important topics in powerlifting, how to peak for a competition. If you've got a meet coming up, or you're thinking about competing, this video is going to save you from making the biggest mistakes most beginners make. Let me start with a story. At my first powerlifting meet, I was completely unprepared. I thought peaking meant just training harder for the last few weeks. So I trained heavy every single day. I hit a PR, seasonal record, in the gym 3 days before the meet. I was exhausted, I was sore, and I completely bombed out on squat. I learned the hard way that peaking isn't about training harder. It's about training smarter. And today, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that.
Yay!
Let's talk about what peaking actually means. Peaking is the process of maximizing your performance on a specific day. Meet day. It's about getting your body to perform at its absolute best when it matters most. This isn't about getting stronger. You're not going to get significantly stronger in the last few weeks before a meet. What you're doing is managing fatigue, recovering properly, and setting yourself up to hit your best numbers. The key to peaking is understanding the 3 phases of competition prep: volume phase, intensity phase, and peak phase. Volume phase is where you build your base. This is typically 8 to 12 weeks out from your meet. You're doing high volume, moderate intensity work. You're building muscle, improving technique, and building work capacity. The goal here isn't to hit heavy singles. The goal is to accumulate volume. You're doing sets of 5, 6, 8, maybe even 10 reps. You're training 3, maybe 4 times per week. You're eating in a surplus, you're recovering, and you're building your foundation. Most people skip this phase. They jump straight into heavy training, and they wonder why they plateau.
Oh, man!
But this phase is crucial. It's what sets you up for success in the later phases. Now, intensity phase. This is 4 to 6 weeks out from your meet. This is where you start lifting heavy. You're doing sets of 3, maybe doubles, maybe singles. You're still training 3 times per week, but the intensity is way higher. This is where you're building strength. You're practicing your competition lifts. You're getting comfortable with heavy weight. You're building confidence. But here's the key. You're not going to failure. You're leaving 1 or 2 reps in the tank. You're training to get strong, not to prove you're strong. The intensity phase is also where you start thinking about your competition attempts. You're figuring out your openers. That's your first attempt. You're planning your second attempt. That should be a weight you're confident you can hit. And you're thinking about your third attempt. That's your goal, your reach, your PR attempt. Now, the peak phase. This is the last 2 to 3 weeks before your meet. This is where most people screw up. They think they need to train harder. They think they need to hit a PR. They think they need to prove they're ready. But that's exactly wrong. The peak phase is about reducing fatigue. It's about recovering. It's about feeling fresh and ready on meet day. Here's what the peak phase actually looks like. Week 3 out, you're still training heavy, but you're reducing volume. Maybe you hit your openers, maybe you go slightly above. But you're not hitting max singles. You're not going to failure. Week 2 out, you're doing even less. Maybe you hit your openers once. Maybe you do some light technique work. You're staying loose, you're staying sharp, but you're not taxing your body. Week 1 out, you're doing almost nothing. Maybe a light session on Monday or Tuesday if your meet is on Saturday. You're moving. You're staying loose. But you're not training, you're recovering. Meet day, you're fresh. You're strong. You're ready. You've been building for weeks, and now it's time to show what you've built. But here's what I see most beginners do wrong. They train too hard, too close to the meet. They hit a PR in the gym the week before competition. They think they need to prove they're ready. But all they're doing is accumulating fatigue. Your body doesn't get stronger in the gym. Your body gets stronger when you recover. And if you're training hard the week before a meet, you're not recovering. You're just getting more tired. Another mistake, they don't plan their attempts. They show up on meet day, they have no idea what they're going to open with, and they either open too light and waste attempts, or they open too heavy and miss their opener. Your opener should be a weight you can hit for 3 reps on a bad day. It should be something you're 100% confident you can hit. Because if you miss your opener, you're out. You bomb out. You don't get to do bench or
Oh,
deadlift.
man!
Your meet is over. Your second attempt should be something you've hit recently in training, maybe in the last 4 to 6 weeks, something you're confident you can hit with competition adrenaline. Your third attempt is your goal. This is where you reach. This is where you push. This is where you try to hit a PR. But it should still be realistic. Maybe 5 to 10 pounds above your second attempt. Not 50 pounds. Now let's talk about the Russian peaking method, because this is what most elite powerlifters use. It's a systematic approach that's been proven to work. The Russian method uses percentages. You're working off your current max, not your goal max. And you're building up to your competition attempts over the course of your prep. Week 12 out, you're doing 70 to 75% for volume. Sets of 5, 6, or 8 reps. Building your base. Week 8 out, you're doing 80 to 85%. Sets of 3, 4, or 5 reps. Starting to lift heavy. Week 4 out, you're doing 90 to 95%. Sets of 1, 2, or 3 reps. This is your intensity phase. Week 2 out, you're doing 95 to 100%. Singles, maybe doubles. This is your peak phase. Meet next week. You're doing your openers. Maybe 90 to 95%. Just enough to feel the weight, not enough to fatigue you. And then, on meet day, you're hitting your attempts. Opener at 90 to 95%. Second attempt at 100 to 105%. Third attempt at 105 to 110%. This is a proven system. It works. But it requires planning. It requires discipline. It requires trusting the process. Another thing most beginners don't understand. You need to practice your competition lifts exactly how you'll do them in competition. That means full depth on squat. That means pause on the bench. That means lockout on deadlift. If you're not practicing pause bench, you're going to be surprised on meet day when the judge calls start, and you realize you have no idea how to pause. If you're not squatting to depth, you're going to get red lights, and you're going to wonder why. Practice your competition lifts every single session, especially in the intensity and peak phases. Now let's talk about nutrition during your peak. Most people think they need to cut weight right before a meet. And if you're competing in a specific weight class, you might need to.
Oh, man!
But don't cut weight during your peak phase. Cut weight during your volume phase, when you can afford to lose some strength. During your peak phase, you want to eat. You want to recover. You want to feel strong. If you're cutting weight, you're going to feel weak. You're going to perform poorly. If you need to make weight, do it early. Get to your weight class during volume phase, then maintain that weight during intensity and peak. Don't try to cut 10 pounds the week before your meet. You're going to bomb out. Recovery is also crucial. Sleep. 8 hours minimum. More if you can. Your body recovers when you sleep. If you're not sleeping, you're not recovering. Stress management. If you're stressed about work, about life, about anything, it's going to affect your performance. Manage your stress. Meditate. Take walks. Do whatever you need to do to stay calm. And don't forget about mobility. You need to be mobile. You need to be able to hit depth on squat. You need to be able to get into position for a deadlift. You need to be able to arch on the bench, stretch, do mobility work. Especially in the peak phase, when you're not training as hard, you have more time for mobility work. Now, I want to talk about one more thing. Mental preparation. Peaking isn't just physical. It's mental too. You need to visualize your attempts. You need to see yourself hitting your opener. You need to see yourself hitting your second attempt. You need to see yourself hitting your third attempt, hitting a PR, celebrating.
Yay!
Visualization works. It's been proven. Athletes at the highest level use it. You should too. You also need to have a plan for meet day. What time are you waking up? What are you eating? When are you warming up? What's your warm-up protocol? Figure this out before meet day. Don't wing it. Have a plan. Execute the plan. And finally, remember why you're doing this. You're competing because you love powerlifting. You're competing because you want to test yourself. You're competing because you want to see what you're capable of. Don't let the pressure get to you. Don't let the nerves get to you. Trust your training. Trust your plan. Trust yourself. You've put in the work. You've done the volume phase. You've done the intensity phase. You've done the peak phase. You're ready. Now go out there and show what you've built. And if you want help tracking all your personal records, PR, your peaking program, your macro tracker, your also features for your mental and breathing tips. Check out fitgit.app. We've built an app that helps you get stronger while maintaining a good mindset.